This is my allotment in the middle of June 2014. Everything's in full bloom. We're coming up to the middle of the longest day. The pigeon man's plot here has been taken over by one of his friends, still under his name, but his friend has been working very hard on it, and it's marvellous what he's done. Open up, and the shed's more or less the same. I've filled the last raised bed and put runner beans in, which are coming along very nicely. There's some nice red currants there coming along, as are the gooseberries. They're very sour at the moment. We're having some quite nice roses. I'm having to deadhead them. We have a little bit of black spot, so I cut the black spot leaves off and put it in the bin. This is the broad beans that I planted last month, and they're coming along very nicely, as are the sweet peas. I've had two nice bunches of those. There's some more roses coming along, and there's the gooseberries. Quite a lot of weeds, but they seem not to mind. The raspberries here looking very sorry for themselves. They're not worth picking. They're so crumbly and unhappy. I think the problem may be the soil, which is too acid. So I've put some lime in. They're still very sorry. This is half the raised bed number 3. I'm trying to dig a pit 3 foot deep, but I've left the strawberries in just for now. Haven't got round to doing them. I've had quite a lot of strawberries so far. The sage there is looking really happy. There isn't a sign of life from the mint, which I'm quite worried about, because there is quite a lot of difference in lamb mints, and that was a good breed. The plum tree's looking very healthy, and I hope that the plum moth won't destroy all my hard work there, as it did last year. There's some black currants, there's some red gooseberries there. They're still quite sour, even the red ones. There's 1 or 2 pears in there. There's a pear there. There's even some wild strawberries come through. That's a malady of this rose. I'm not too sure what it is. That rose there has quite a bit of black spot, which I'm spraying once a week, and I'm cutting all the black spot off. I'll just take you round there. I've planted some wild blackberries there, so I have a nice crop from there. More blackberries. Next door has been taken over once again by somebody else. The rhubarb isn't really doing all that well. It doesn't seem happy. Possibly because I've not put any manure on it. I've planted 2 cucumbers in my newly built cold frame. The hadn't any room for the tomato plants, so I planted them in the old greenhouse, and they seem quite happy. These are autumn bliss. They are not looking too good, but I had planned to take them up. There's my compost heaps, 2 of them, and I planted potatoes here in bin bags with just normal compost, and I've taken on one of them out just to see, and I got about half a carrier bag full of just out of that one pot. You have to see. There's some more tomato plants that I had left over. And I'll just take you around to the fairy glen. There's some fairies just enjoying the sunshine. I'll have to cut the grass there to the fairy glen. This, and have a look. The lilies here have gone wild around the pond. And that's it, that's the plot. And the plum tree is growing, and everything seems fine. One little thing that I'm trying is to sow lettuce in pots. Transfer them from that pot into these pots, and when they've grown big enough, I'm going to take them home, and my wife can have fresh lettuce whenever she wants. That's a little project that I've got. But the roses there are looking lovely. They really are. And that's the pot. Oh, I've put a bird seed container up the top, and the birds eat about 2 of those containers full every week. And there's a water thing there that I don't really fill up. And that's it. I'll have to work on this area here that I'm planning to grass over. And that's it. That's the plot. The pH of this is 4.9, and it should be 6.5, so it's far too acid. I think it's acid, isn't it? So that's what's caused the actual raspberries to not like it, whereas the pH of the other plot is 7.3, and that should be 6.5, so there's nothing much wrong with the acidity of that. There's a little pot of blueberries that I pulled through, that I planted them in the soil, and it was far too alkaline. So a strange plot this. It's a mixture of highly acidic and highly alkaline soils. That lot there is a pile of wood that I'm taking home for the fire, but I don't use the fire much these days. The wood there is ready to cut with my chainsaw, and that's it.